one where I'm like, oh my god, I'm getting seated. That was Pokemon. Like, I'm so okay. It's out of context. As for SAP, but it's normal. But my mom basically saw the Among Us wide gay sex, and they thought I was talking about wide gay sex. She was like, "Why are you talking about gay sex?" And she had to like sit me down. She's like, "I have nothing against the gays." She like imagine this, okay? Like you have to have the talk with your mom.
Not the gay.
And she's like, "Listen, Michi, I know, okay? I don't have problem with the gays, but why you always talk about gay sex? Why always that? Like I am not like the against gay, but why always talking gay sex? Why never just normal happy gay? Why always sex?" And I have to sit there and I'm like, "No, mom, that's an emote. It's a weird emote. I swear."
Only happy gay, no gay, please.
One
guys,
of like the things with my parents, right? Like they're not online, so like they also are like conservative and traditional, so they don't know a lot of things, especially when it comes to LGBTQ and stuff like that, like pronouns. Like in Indo, we don't have different pronouns. Everyone is like them, right? It's like gender neutral. So it's I have okay, low key people can be like, why don't you educate my mother? It's very complicated, okay? Like telling an Indonesian old conservative traditional parent what pronouns are one of the hardest things, especially when they don't speak English. Like what's the point anyway? So they don't understand these things. But one of their biggest fear is they think that I think that they're against it. But like they don't understand, but they're trying their best, you know. But sometimes they can say something and you're like, oh, that's not real, you know, like that's not the right thing, but like you're on the right track, but you just have to like kind of
hone it in a little bit.
Because like sometimes I'm like, oh, you know, like I have friends that are non-binary and I don't fully understand it either, but I'm like also learning. But I have to be like, oh, so this friend of mine is like non-binary, and they're like, what
non-binary
that mean?
is a tricky one for sure, especially for parents. I feel like my mom, not recent years-ish, because my mom's a very Christian woman. Truthfully, Chad, in the beginning of it, I was joking around and I was like, you know what, Mom, like what if I was like bi, or what if I was gay? Like just like, would you be like mad? I was just kind of like testing the waters, see what she's okay with. And before, truthfully, she was like, I mean, like she wasn't mad, but she was like, you know, I would prefer. She would give me like the nice motherly answer, like I would prefer if that wasn't, but you know, I could try to, you know, figure something out, or like pray for you. I'll pray for you. Now she's like, she totally gets it. She's like, you know, that's fine and whatever. But non-binary is one it's a bit tricky.
It's
for
difficult.
Her.
Like
it's a bit tricky.
That's the thing. I even said it like when I said it's like, you know, I'm not the straightest person in the book, but the way my mom said it is like, it doesn't matter, but I did want a grandchild, you know. So I'm like, I want to adopt anyway. Like fine. It's one of those. But basically, if like I want to go on a trip with my friend, and my friend is non-binary, right? But you know how Asian parents are. It's like, are you staying in the hotel with them? Are you staying in one room with them? Right? And then they're like, if you are staying in the same hotel or in the same room, what is their gender?
Or
right?
Sex, I guess,
like what is your and stuff like that, because then you can get pregnant or something like that. So I have to be like, oh, they're either this or that, right? And now that she knows that a lot of my friends are like bisexual or stuff like that, now she also has to have another layer. It's like, I was like, oh, it's a girl.
The poker gets more complicated.
Now it's complicated.
The hands are just like all fumbled together.
Back then it's like, oh, I'm staying in the same hotel room, but it's with a girl. Relax, and that's done. But now it's like, oh, it's with a girl. Does she girls? And now that's tricky, right? Because I'm like, oh, they're bisexual, but well, she's not into me like that, and she's like, how you know? One of those, right? So when I do want to hang out with like my non-binary friend, that's when it gets tricky, because it's like, is it guy or girl? And I'm like, oh, this is them. So I show them the VTuber, and usually the VTuber is like, you can't really tell from that anyway. My mom's like, guy or girl? And I'm like, non-binary. And she's like, what that?
What they got?
So now I have to be like, ooh, okay, TLDR, they won't fuck me. Like that. That's the best way, right? Because they don't care. Like it's not. People are like, oh, it's about like my gender. It's not. It's literally just like, would you f my daughter? Which is probably a no. But like they need proof, you know. I can't just be like, I am hideous. I cannot say that because in their eyes, if I say I'm hideous, they think it's an insult on them because that's from their genes. So I'm like, how do I tell this in the nicest way? Only you think I am beautiful. Everyone else probably don't think so.
That's not true. Okay, please. I'm literally looking at her right now. Okay.
Thank you, Queen.
That's a little footnote, but go on. Continue on the story.
But like, also it's like if they do me, that's a PR disaster. So like, they probably won't do it. You know what I mean?
PR disaster.
Like,
No.
Yeah. Right.
No, literally, I'm
That's
having a friend go through that right now. My friend is like 27 or something like that. And then they definitely had like also like Asian, so strict parent where it's like no dating until you're in university or something. And they were a very good daughter, and then they listened. And they were very focused on studies. And come university, their mom was like, "We're boyfriend," and she was like, what? You told me not to have a boyfriend. I was studying. And then she was like, okay, but you look during study?
Right?
And she was like, I was looking at my textbook. What do you mean? What do you mean I was looking?
Oh my God.
And then she's like, okay, well, hurry. I'm not getting younger.
Yeah.
And then now she's 27. And apparently, according to just when we briefly catch up, I don't think she's dated yet still. And then I'm just like, are you looking? And she's like, yeah, I mean, I'm open to it, but just no one really caught my eye. And then she was just telling, like, ranting or venting a little bit that, like, the mom is just like, that eternal clock is ticking. And she was like, well, mother, you told me not to, and now, I'm focusing on my career. Like, she's doing, I don't want to, like, dox her necessarily, but she's doing an important job, a very big job, important things. So, she also is just focusing, and she doesn't have time to, like, be worried about other dudes and whatever. And then at one point she was telling me how her mom was genuinely worried at the time that she might be gay. And then and she was just like, well, even if I am, like, okay, like that was one talk that they had to have. And then now she's okay with it, but still, again, no boyfriend from what she told me, no past experiences either. So I was just like, well, I mean, if you're happy and you're vibing and you're staying in your lane, that's fine, right?
That's the thing with my parents. Ever since I've grown up, they're like, sex is bad, scary, you will die. And now they're like, it's beautiful. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? They're like getting desperate. I told them I was like,
beautiful.
I told them I was like, I never want to get pregnant. I want to adopt, and like I'm scared of having. Like, that's genuine. It freaks me out, right? And now their chat knows this. My parents have been like, sex is a beautiful thing and it's a great thing. And I'm like, Mom,
when you find
told me.
When you find your soulmate, this will feel like vanilla.
Yeah, my mom told me
chocolate
growing
swirls.
up, she was like, if you have sex, you will blow up. So I'm like, I'm not having sex, you crazy. I don't, why am I working so hard and I blow up?
That's very extreme.
No way.
That's very extreme.
No, my mom's like, when you have sex, right, always the men good, the women bad, the women blow up, the men enjoy life, so never have sex. So obviously I don't want to have sex.
Well, she's not wrong, but she definitely exaggerated a little bit.
And now she's like backtracking, and I'm like, that's years of trauma, okay? You gotta double that.
When climax comes,
I'm like, double that and give it to the next person, bitch. Like, nah, I'm too afraid of that. But that's the issue of Asian parenting. I swear to God, the amount of times I have to. This is one of the reasons why I can hang out with friends now, because like I tell my mom, she wouldn't accept the fact that like, no, I would not sleep with just randos, right?
Yeah.
But I tell her, it's like, Mom, if I sleep with someone, especially if they have a platform, which is usually who I hang out with anyway.
Oh, like, so a content creator.
Yeah, like a fellow content creator. I have to be like, they will, they can write something about me and I get canceled, and then I can write back and they get canceled. So they ruin their career just for one night. No one will do that.
Right.
And I have to paint like dating in the content creator world as like a horrible thing. And that's why my mom's like, okay, just remember, okay, you work hard for this career.
Yeah.
Don't ruin it for one bad night like that. So then now she's like, she understands the concept of PR disaster. Yeah. But she doesn't understand anything else. But she is like, my mom and my dad, they're so scared that that I would think that they're homophobic. Like I am, but like,
okay,
it's like they mean well, but most of the time, like low key, the things they say out of context do sound a little bit homophobic, because you're like, oh, their pronouns are they them, and they're like he. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, they need time to adjust. But like they don't understand. I can't even say they do. They don't.
Yeah, even to this day, I feel like my mom is accepting, but I don't know if she understands like what it truly. Because I don't want to say too much because I feel like that might be crossing the line on the internet. But my mom's friend had a daughter who was kind of going through like what's the word, like not sexual realization, but she's just figuring out what's going on with her body. But I think she was like 16 or something, so young. And then I overheard the parents discussing about the daughter. And I was just listening and I was like, some dicey things are being said. And I'm like, should I, like, after the phone call is done, maybe just mention that, like, some of the things that they're saying is a little not kosher. But then I'm just like, it's also, like, not their daughter. Like, I don't know if my mom needs to be, like, interjecting that much. But I also feel like that mother, the daughter's mother, might need to, like, need to know a little bit more.
You want to know something that I'm so proud of my dad for? And, like, it's wholesome, but, like, it's wholesome for our standard, okay? But one time, basically, one of my dad's friends, like, he has a son, and the son, like, recently, not come out, but he basically got caught, like, he kind of has, like, a boyfriend, right? And it's not very, like, it's still illegal in my country, too.
Okay.
But, basically, they were, like, consoling one another, like, in a call and everything. And I overheard, like, my dad basically say, like, it's none of your business, though. You know, it's like who cares, right? It's not your business, and it's like, yeah, but it's wrong, and it's like it's wrong and haram and everything, and it's like they could go to jail, they could die, blah 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 blah. And my dad's like, yeah, but they could go to jail for anything, to be honest. So it's like that is your son's problem. Your problem is you need to be a good parent. Being a good child is their problem. So it's like it's like one of those, like, right? He's like, you don't have to do anything. Just like, if your son does go to jail, that's his fault because he's not a good person. But your job is to take care of them, to make sure they don't go to jail. So like, your job is not to do anything, right? And it's like it's getting there. But for that standard, hearing my dad kind of be like, it doesn't matter, to be honest. Like, some people go to jail for drugs, like, who cares, right? So like, the bro is not doing much.
Some parents can't even do that much. So for your dad to be able to have that realization and teach his friend to do that, I think is great, because unfortunately there are definitely people out there who maybe lost parents because of that, or just like maybe had a falling out temporarily because of that. So it's really nice that your dad is like insightful enough to have that kind of a thought or like a notion and try to guide his friend.
That's why when I heard it, I was like, hey, yo, dad, that's not that bad. He's like, like, the way he thinks about it is like, a parent should focus on being a good parent and nothing more. It's like, your kid never asked to be born, so like, don't put that on them that they were born. Just like, focus on, you wanted to be a parent anyway, so focus on that, right? But then,
oh, your dad is so cute.
Right? I was so proud. I was like, when did you learn this?
Dad's cheeks and going.
I was like, when did you learn this? And he's like,
I read. I watched the news.
Right? I was like,
daughter.
Good job, Dad. I never had to talk with him. I've never once been like, listen, Dad, being gay is okay. Like, I've never had that talk. He just like, kind of over time, he's like, who cares? Lol. Like, he's not even like, I wouldn't say he supports it. I wouldn't say he supports. He just doesn't give a shit. Like, as long as you are not being an asshole, you can whoever you want. Just don't be a.
Sometimes that's all we need from our parents, though. Really,
right?
We need them to not give a shit, but still like care as a parent, but not give a shit about all the other trivial stuff.